As a solo game dev, I've never really felt the need to create a game design document. The games I make are usually pretty small. I don't work with a team, so who would I be making it for anyway? I can kind of keep everything in my head, right? But I wanted to see what all the fuss was about. I wanted to do something creative, something different than I normally do. And I had some ideas for a project I could work on in parallel with Gravity Ace, but I didn't want to just jump right into the coding phase, just yet. So I created a game design document, and I was actually pleasantly surprised by the result, and I learned a few things. Was it procrastination? Maybe a little. Yeah, probably. I could have just started coding and experimenting without one. In fact, I did code an extremely minimal prototype in just a few hours. But then I sat down, I fleshed out in detail all of the ideas I wanted in the game, and it turned out to have some benefits, even for me, a solo game dev. So benefit number 0, it took me a few days, but it was a lot of fun. I actually enjoyed designing the game and the systems. I enjoyed creating the fun little concept art sketches and the charts that go into the document. It was a very nice creative outlet. Benefit number 1, I made an honest reckoning with the overall scope of the game. What I thought was a extra small game turned out to be kind of a medium-sized game, when I had it down on paper. Writing down all the features, thinking about how they would work, thinking about the implementations, it made me realize it was bigger than I expected. Benefit number 2, I had front-loaded a lot of the design decisions instead of waiting until the moment I was writing the code to make those decisions. I'm sure the design will evolve if I decide to move ahead with this project, but at least I know the types of systems I'll need to code and the overall structure so that I can start, more or less aimed at the right architecture from day one. That'll hopefully allow me to avoid some pitfalls and major refactoring and make the coding phase a little bit more efficient. Benefit number 3, because I wrote down everything I wanted, I was actually able to prioritize the core features I wanted in a prototype and put together a short development schedule. Part of that was just deeply thinking about the features, simulating the gameplay in my head, and then deciding to cut, or delay those features. And then I made the prototype and I stuck to the schedule. I ended up discovering that there were some serious issues with the prototype, but it was really good to get to that place, to get there so quickly. At some point, it does become procrastination, I guess. I didn't try to solve every problem in exact minute detail. Some ideas I intentionally left vague to leave a little room for experimentation. I couldn't predict all the problems that would come up during production, and it was impossible for me to predict how fun some of the ideas would actually be. I went into it knowing that my ideas would need adjustment, right? As soon as production started. My plan was to use this as a guiding principles document rather than a detailed plan for project management, And nothing's set in stone. The primary objective is for the game to be fun, and everything else is kind of just a means to that end. I may go back and update the game design document with decisions or changes that I think might affect partners if I decide to bring in help, or even just future me. But mostly this is an artifact of pre-production, and I expect it to be quickly superseded by the game itself. Will I create game design documents for every game I make? Probably not. But this one only took me a few days to write. It was a fun break from my normal work, and I think in the end it did save me time and kept me on schedule while I was making that prototype. I've seen lots of different ways of writing game design documents. If you want to try one, I suggest just start writing, do what works for you. And I've shared mine in the description below so that you can take a look. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you next time.